So hello everyone. Welcome if you are new to the channel. Welcome back if you love me. I love you too. We're here. Why? Because I do as I'm guided. Forever now and always. So Spirit will have some message come through. I just wanted to make a quick reminder that under the live tab here on the channel are all the May videos. Now, all of the views, likes, and comments determine who gets bonus readings in July. Now, Aries got the only bonus reading in May because they had the most views, likes, and comments in March. And so they got this extra special long video as a bonus. And it does currently have the most views and the most likes. Well, the likes are tied with Sag. But because Aries has the most views, they would take it, right? Because that's the kind of tiebreaker. So Sag gang, you might want to go back to May's video and drop a like if you haven't, because I'm going to be looking at the stats for July's readings. All right. So if you go back and flash back in hindsight to May's energy, boost the stats on those videos because you're more likely to get bonus readings for July. Okay. And 2 times the videos is 2 times the chances to win for September. So, hey Kelly, how you doing? Yeah, Aries completely rocked it out for March. And so they got all 3 bonuses for May. And I ended up doing, I believe it was Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising, and Mars and Aries. I did 4 different readings for that video, all with timestamps. So whatever Aries placement you were, you got an actual reading per that placement, right? As opposed to just an overall general message. So, right now, I think Cancer's in the lead for most comments. Sag is tied with Aries for most likes, and Aries has most views. Their bonus video has the most views right now, and because it's a bonus, it's still their sign for the month. It counts. So get yourself back in May and go drop a like or leave a comment like, hey, replay, whatever you gotta do to make sure you guys get bonus readings for July. All right. We are going to roll the Astro dice and see what kind of message Spirit has coming out for you guys in divine time. Also, keep in mind, guys, the monthly zodiac readings while we're talking about it before I get into the message. The monthly zodiac readings as of 2024. As of 2024. Okay, so there's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of time. Don't go click and unsubscribe. I can't believe her. Listen. As of 2024, the only monthly zodiac readings that I'm going to be doing are for Divine Rebel members. Everything else, and that includes moon events. Moon events are they're going to be members only. Okay, so if you're not a Divine Rebel, if you're not a Divine Rebel and you don't have that special little diamond that Kelly has next to her name, I will only be doing as I'm guided readings like this one on the channel publicly. All of the scheduled lives, the monthly zodiacs, the moon events that are 2 to 3 times a month, and all of the personal readings on Sundays, the weekly duality reports, the scheduled stuff is going to be for Divine Rebels only. Okay. Everything else public that I do on the channel is very much going to be as I'm guided. I'm also going to be doing hella changes with all the different playlists. There will definitely still be the houses of the signs and their timeless messages. But I'm going to be going through a lot. I'm going to revamp the channel. It'll still be Miss Magic Rising. I know I've gone through several name changes, but this one is definitely going to stick. So I will continue to be Miss Magic Rising, but everything is going to be Divine Rebels if it's scheduled. Okay, so they will have me consistently on a schedule that's $5.99 a month to join the membership. I've made it so that it's affordable for everybody. So if you're one of those people that really do like things consistently, yeah, it is worth it being a diamond and a Kelly. I love you so much. I love my diamonds. So if you want me consistently, then I would definitely join as a Divine Rebel member. Okay. YouTube handles the payments. It's through YouTube. You can cancel at any time. You're not contracted to stay, right? If you're, for whatever reason, there's not $5.99 in your bank account, YouTube will not take it out. It'll just temporarily stop your membership until you re-sign up, and you don't actually lose any of your diamond days. It picks up where you left off. Okay. So for whatever reason, because the diamonds change color as time goes on. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Oh, my diamonds. How you doing? Yeah, for the price of a cup of coffee, right? Price of a cup of coffee. But yeah, every week they're going to have me in there, and all week, every week. I think I caught everything. It is the monthlies. It'll be the monthlies. It'll be the moon events. They'll be set up like pick a cards. Okay, instead of the secret code names. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Hi, Dom. Say hi to Amelia for me too. Oh, I love you guys. So yeah, there will be monthly readings, weekly duality readings, personal readings on Sunday. Everybody on Sunday, everybody who's a Divine Rebel Diamond gets put inside the box. All their names go in here, and I pull a name on Sundays. So you get a personal reading with me on Sundays if I can draw your name. And then of course they have special content. Like I did the special on Chiron, and it's going to be a 3-part series. So there will be all kinds of stuff coming through on the channel. So if you have more questions about it, you can shoot me an email. My email's in the description. All right. In the meantime, we will get back to this message. So, Spirit, please, what signs are we talking about? Ooh, we got the moon. That's Cancerian energy. We've got Virgo. And we've got 9, which is 9th house. That is Sagittarian energy. All right. So let me get these dice up here for you so you can see them. They're my amethyst dice. I love these dice. Oh, where did I go? 9. There you go. Boop. Moon, Virgo, 9th. You may also have a moon in the 9th house. You may have a moon in Sag. You may have a moon in Virgo. You may have Virgo ruling the 9th house, right? So take the message as it resonates for you. Right now, Virgo is dead empty. Ceres just left Virgo, and Sag is dead empty. So those 2 signs would be strictly your natal placements. All right, whatever you have in your birth charts for Virgo and Sag. Obviously, it is Cancer season. Happy birthday to all the Cancers out there. My Cancer moon and rising, love y'all and your energy. So with that, and you know what, I'll put this out there, because just Virgo, moon, and 9th house, if you just so happen to have all 3 of those placements, there's a reason why you are emotionally driven to perfect things, not just with yourself, not just in the outer experience for other people. There's a reason for your meticulousness, and it's because it allows some kind of mental expansion for the world around you, right? Whether people look at you and are inspired by you to do better, which is most often the case, or using your reality as a mirror. Like they say, well, if your room is a mess, then your head is a mess. You know what I mean? Then you must be cluttered if your house is cluttered. And it's kind of like that, like Virgo moon in the 9th house. If you just so happen to have those placements, is about a rhyme and a reason for your meticulous madness. And it's divine, right? Because it's Sagittarius's house. So anything to do with Sag has to do with not just expanding the mind or traveling, which the house is known for, but it's also for philosophy. It's application of wisdom. You know, like some people will be out there trying to get a girlfriend looking like a bum, but the girls they're attracted to are not bums. Like, well, you can't look like a bum and attract girls that are not bums. They're not looking at you, honey. You know what I mean? So, Virgo kind of leads by example. Like if you want what you want, and this is what you're invested in emotionally, right? Because we're talking about the moon. It's what you're emotionally invested in. It's your compassion and your caring that make it perfect for other people. Like a great example would be someone who does keep themselves really nice because they care about the partner on their partner's arm, right? They're not going to embarrass their partner by looking like a bum. Right? They're not going to go out with their partner who looks and takes care of themselves and not have their partner be proud of them. You know, the same thing goes with their home. Like maybe they will keep a really nice home because they don't want their partner to be in a home that is not well taken care of or not well maintained, or there's weeds growing up the side. Like they want it to look nice because they take pride in themselves for other people to learn from, right? So Virgo moon in the 9th. Let's see. It's also the meticulousness of doing things right on a philosophical level. Okay. So if Virgo moon in the 9th has a certain moral compass or code, they're not willing to sacrifice the integrity of that for anything. And if for whatever reason it's compromised, knowingly or unknowingly, they will absolutely take the steps to course correct, right? Because Sagittarius's house is a divine house. So there's nothing that the divine doesn't see. If a Virgo moon is in the 9th house is not choosing outright to correct a divine error, if they're not choosing it outright, then the universe will absolutely start wreaking havoc. Chaos, right? It's mutable energy there in the 9th with Sag energy there. Virgo itself is mutable. So, I mean, the divine is going to take the lead and make you course correct and cause chaos until it's corrected. Okay. So be aware of that. All right. Let's see. Spirit, what am I starting with? Okay. Interesting. We're starting with the Lord of the Rings tarot. All right. Spirit, please, what message would you have come through? Mind you, if you have strong any of those signs or any of those placements, you could be dealing with someone else who also has significant placements in those signs, whether you realize it or not. All right. We unfortunately don't know everybody's birth chart, right? We wish. We wish. All right. One more shuffle. I like the way these cards shuffle. It's nice. All right. What's going on, Spirit? Okay. We've got the Ace of Cups, the Four of Rings, the Three of Cups, the Ace of Rings, and the Queen of Swords. We also have the Six of Wands and the World card. Give me 3 more clarities, please. Clarify the Three of Cups. I feel such high anxiety? Who's in high anxiety? We got the Queen of Cups reversed. We got the Magician reversed. We got 2 aces out here. The 6 of Cups and the 2 of Cups. All right. Bottom of the deck is the 10 of Swords. Top of the deck is the 6 of Swords. All right, so listen. Ten of Swords on the bottom. Underneath this entire energy is some kind of betrayal or sabotage. Okay. The 5 of Cups is under that. So it's definitely, and the 5 of Swords is under that. Could be dealing with strong Leo energy. It's a burden. Okay, and there's the Tower here, right? If I'm going to be nosy as hell on the bottom of the deck. The Tower's here, and the Hanged Man is under that. Okay. I do love these cards. They're great. Schmiegel. And the Moon, all these major arcana. So listen, underneath all that is happening and transpiring, with all the major arcana in a row present on the bottom of that deck, there's a higher reason for all of it. So despite the fact that it is initially going to be perceived as sabotage or betrayal of some kind, everything happens for a reason. Okay. And sometimes we don't even realize the mistakes that we're making. And I will give an example because my son and I were just talking about it. And I'm not going to say who or insinuate who because, well, they embarrass themselves. Okay. They embarrass themselves. So this individual whom I was discussing with my son is going through a huge loss of a soulmate. It's a 6-year relationship. Okay, at least. They have a child shared together, like the whole bit. Poor man, okay, does not register or understand why he loses important women that he has relationships with in his life, because she's not the only one. It's just the most recent. He has a difficult time taking responsibility for himself and his own actions and insists on pointing the finger. It's a kind of covert narcissism, right? Because there's different kinds of narcissism. Okay. If you're thinking about a narcissist and you just immediately think someone who is arrogant, someone who is controlling, and someone who is vile, or someone who is, demeaning or condescending, or, that kind of narcissist. Covert narcissism is a little bit different. It tends to fly under the radar because it's not as well known. And it is people who force other people into actions that serve them, but ultimately cry victim when it's their own choices that create the reality. Like, this individual refuses to move forward with his career or find a better one. He's struggling with money, leaning really heavily on his now ex to financially help support them, right? He's constantly gaming and constantly spending money on this and that, and yet his phone bill's behind. You know, he convinced her to create an OnlyFans page, and so now she's literally having to sell herself to other men because he refused to step up and be the man of the family, right? He was not working more than part-time, and he hasn't been for decades, right? And now, you know, she's left him for someone else. And it's like, you wonder why though. Like, he wonders why. And he'll, you know, point fingers, say, well, she did this and she did that. And it's like, yeah, but you weren't stepping up into that man role. You wanted to be respected like a man. You wanted to be treated like a man and be respected as the head of household, but you were acting like a teenage roommate and literally convincing your fiance to sell herself for extra money because you're hurting. Like, they had a GoFundMe for her birthday and their daughter's birthday because they didn't have enough money to celebrate their birthday. Like, that is mortifying. And he doesn't see it. But if I felt the need to put up a GoFundMe to celebrate my birthday and my child's birthday because my partner couldn't get his shit together, I would be mortified. And he doesn't see it, right? He doesn't see how his own choices, his own fears, his own insecurities create his reality. And it's been this way for as long as I've known him. The covert narcissism, the crying victim, the I need help, help me, but I'm unwilling to help myself. I'm unwilling to improve. I'm unwilling to try things. I'm unwilling to practice. I'm unwilling to get better. I'm unwilling to learn. Like, I can't feel sorry for this person. You know what I mean? Like, it's a shame. It's a shame that all of the loss is happening. But there's a reason why it's happening. You understand? Like, that 10 of Swords on the bottom of the deck, there's a reason why there's loss and fights. If you're fighting with someone and experiencing loss or regret, it's because in some which way, shape, or form, you're sabotaging yourself. Because either you could be better and treat whoever better, or they straight up deserve better treatment and are betraying themselves, accepting less. Y'all know my story with my most recent ex. Well, both of them for that matter. The most recent, very recent and short-lived one, and my longer-term one that I've talked about openly on this channel. Both of them, I was accepting subpar behavior. They weren't coming up with the same amount of compassion and energy and input that I was. And so there were arguments and there was loss. Why? Because someone wasn't stepping up. They were sabotaging themselves and betraying the relationship. And the other was betraying themselves by allowing it. Right? This is why this 10 of Swords energy happens. This is why arguments and loss and regret happen. And this is the underlying energy of this entire reading. And the fact that the sun is underneath Leo energy, and we've got lots of big Leo in the sky right now. We've got Pallas and Lilith conjunct in Leo. We've got Mars in Leo. We've got Venus in Leo. The moon just went through Leo. Like, there's a lot of strong Leo energy. Leo deals with pride and leadership, because Leo is the notorious leader. Aries is the first zodiac sign and has major stand-up leadership qualities. But the true leader that has been accepted is in fact Leo. It is the lion. It is the most regal, quote unquote, sign of the zodiac. The true king is Sag, my opinion. But where we are in this development with humanity, Leo takes the cake, right? So I'm feeling with this energy that someone's pride and someone's ego is getting in the way and it's sabotaging themselves. And depending on if you have Leo placements and what they are, it could be in that department, right? Like, and let's just say you have a Leo Venus, right? If Leo is Venus, then you would have a lot of pride in who you choose to be in a relationship with. And if that relationship were to fail or fall apart, or you would be, your ego would take a hit, right? Because you thought they were your person and they're not. Maybe you invested in that partner, right? Or that person, and you're afraid to take the loss because, you know, you don't want people to think that you failed. And so you invest more, right? Trying to be number one. The other thing with Leo is that they have a hidden wrath. Okay. Fire signs, listen, people that do not understand fire signs. Everybody knows Aries is the fighter. Okay. They're the warrior, the act first, think later. Probably the first to throw hands, you know, in a debate or argument, especially if there's drinking involved. All right. Aries loves to fight just for fun. Okay. Aries is big on competition. They love to be number one. And there's a lot of great, beautiful qualities that come along with Aries. Like Aries, if there was a house on fire, and Aries would be the first one to run through the fucking door and save whoever is in there and not even think twice about it, right? That's why they're notorious, not just for being in the military, but EMTs and things like that, right? First responders, police officers, firefighters, things like that. And they're known for fighting. They're known. Leo, and there's this video, Christopher Walken. I believe it's Christopher Walken. And you can come in, but I'm live. It's my son. Leo, and it's interesting that he just tapped because it's kind of the scene, right? He's talking about the lion, and he's, you know, the king of the Sahara, or the jungle, whatever you want to call it, right? He's the king of the plains, and saying if you can laugh at the lion, you can infringe on the lion's territory, and he'll do nothing until one day the lion stands up and reminds you who he is, why he's the king. Leo energy is not one to break. They're very put together, respectable person. They're very in control of themselves. They're very aware of the foolery of other people, the idiocy of other people. And they look at other people like, you want to make a jackass out of yourself? That's fine. That's you. You want to poke at me? That's fine. I don't care. Until one day, they remind you who they are. And you're like, oh shit, don't fuck with the Leo. Don't mess with the Leo. Don't cross them. They remind you who they are. And Leo roars. Very loud and very clear for everyone to hear. And so if a Leo, right, is backed into a corner and their pride is taking a hit and their ego is taking a hit because they really did think someone was royalty worthy, yeah. If he invests in, if a Leo invests in someone who they believe is worthy of the investment only to prove that they're just a jester. Like Leo believed that you were the king to their queen. They were treating you and respecting you like the queen of their king, and they expect you to hold up to that standard. And if you act like a fool and embarrass the Leo does not appreciate being embarrassed because they invested in a fool thinking they were worth more. They do not like realizing that they were investing in someone's potential and not their actual character. Leo has a big problem with that. Sag, because we're evolving through the fire signs, right? We go from the reckless warrior to the very reserved and respectable king, right? Who has literally earned his status just by being, right? Just by being, he has earned respect. And then you get Sag, which is this maverick kind of oddball, mutable fire, fanatical sage. They're like, how would I describe Sag? Y'all remember Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls? Okay, just stay with me, okay? Y'all remember Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls? And they go to the actual Buddhist temple and the monk is there with Ace. And even though Ace is like a complete wackadoo in his own brilliant right, and the monk knows it, he's not really fazed by the insanity. That's Sag on a good day. The monk that is not really thrown off by the insanity and will gladly laugh along with it. On a bad day, though, you cross a Sag the wrong way, because Sag is the optimist. Sag is the BFF of the zodiac. They will be BFFs with everybody, okay? And they will give multiple chances because they believe in teaching, right? Sagittarius is the sign of higher learning. Like Gemini is the sign of actual lower education, like 3D world education, what we learn in books, right? It's knowledge. Sag is the sage. It's higher knowledge. It's higher learning. Okay. So Sag is constantly teaching, not knowledge of a book, but knowledge of a soul, right? They're teaching morality. They're teaching wisdom. So when you piss off a Sag, if y'all been watching me long enough between YouTube and Facebook, you've seen it happen. A Sag can only be pushed by stunads for so long before they pop a gasket. They pop a gasket, and it's to teach you. It is to teach you a lesson that you obviously didn't freaking get the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time that you run into this Sag who is trying to very patiently teach you, because Sag's virtue is patience. That's Sag's virtue. They're patient with people. They're patient. That's why people get multiple chances, right? And they try and teach, and they see the potential of people. Like Sag is notorious for seeing people's potential and wanting to pull it out of them, right? They don't give up. And when they do, and I've said it multiple times now, if a Sag quits on you, that's a wrap, dipped, they stopped trying to teach you, they quit on you. It is 100% because they realized you quit on yourself and you're not willing to learn. They're teaching a wall, and the wall can't learn anything. You come to Sag with intention, you come to Sag with willingness, and they will teach you forever. They will be the monk that teaches you forever. They will impart great wisdom on you and help you apply it to your life so that you can better your life. But if you're not interested in learning, Sag is not interested in teaching. They're not going to waste their breath. They will go out with a popped gasket of a bang, and then be out. That'll be the last you hear from Sag, right? Because once a Sag has flipped that switch, that's it, right? And if you don't understand what I'm saying when I talk about flipping that switch, go back to the last reading in Divine Time that I did. All right, that's what it was all about. So with this, and this energy being the underlying issue and the top of the deck, right? We got the Six of Swords on top. This is about forward movement, because apparently the mind, right? The mind is chaotic. The thoughts are chaotic. They're spinning in negative negative thought patterns, right? Repeating thoughts that don't feel good to think about, and they don't want to think about it anymore. They don't want to think about it anymore. They don't want to worry anymore. They don't want to have anxiety anymore, right? This is about moving to calmer thoughts. AKA not giving a FUCK. Okay? not kidding around. Like, this is moving towards not caring, because caring, it creates sabotaging behavior. Like, maybe you're worried about what someone else is doing, worried about what they're thinking, worried about what they're going to do because you're doing this, right? We're talking about Virgo moon in the 9th house. Well, if you haven't crossed your T's and dotted your I's with the divine, and you're not admitting where you have flaws or where you have mistakes or what you could have, should have, would have done better, and you're just trying to sweep it under the rug, Virgo does not sweep dust and dirt under the rug. Virgo would watch someone sweep it under the rug, have a freaking meltdown, get the vacuum, suck all of that up, suck everything out from around the rug, start doing the rest of the whole freaking house, and then take the emptied vacuum trash bag outside and throw it away. You'd send Virgo on a freaking cleaning spree if they watched you sweep something under the rug. So imagine the divine, right? Because we're talking about Virgo energy here. Talking about Virgo energy. Imagine the divine watching you make such an error in soul that you would go against your wisdom, right? That wisdom, that you would not take the emotional lead, right? Cancerian energy, the moon, is an emotional leader. They do not want anybody to feel bad for something they have done. They will write every mistake out of compassion. So the divine is asking whoever this is to right your wrongs already. Why have you swept it under the rug in front of the eyes of the divine? Did you think the divine didn't see you do that? You think the divine missed the error that you made in soul? That you quit on yourself, improving towards your highest version in some which way, shape, or form, and that the divine wasn't going to freak out? That it wasn't going to pull the rug out from under you to clean it? That's like literally sweeping the dirt under the rug and then standing on the rug and like, I don't know, divine, I don't see any dirt. I don't see anything. And the divine goes, whoom, and just pulls the rug out from under you and says, there's the dirt. There's the dirt. You see it now? And all of life and all of the dirt come up. And the divine says, clean it. The right way. Why do you think people go through tower moments? So let's tell a story, because I've got plenty of cards here. We've got Ace of Cups and the Six of Wands. So there was some kind of beautiful gift given. The Ace of Cups is a creation energy. Just like the Ace of Wands is a very phallic energy, it's masculinity represented in a card. The Ace of Cups is the womb or the creative vessel, right? It's the feminine energy. So there's some huge victory in the receiving, which is what feminine energy is. A huge victory. And now it's being held on to. And it's like, okay, chapter's closed, right? Cycle ended. Four of Coins is, or the Four of Rings in this deck is holding on to it. Holding on to this closed cycle. Everything is great. I got the victory. And we lived happily ever after. Got the victory and lived happily ever after. And then you've got this Three of Cups with the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Now, the Queen of Cups is known to put people on pedestals. When she's in reverse, she's extremely bitter and she's resentful because the pedestal no longer exists, whether it's the one that she was on or the one that she was putting someone on, and it's because a third party got involved. Queen of Cups can be water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Although queens are typically fixed energy and cups are water, so it is likely scorpionic, though it is very often seen as a Cancerian energy because Cancer is the mother of the water signs. She's the mother of the zodiac, and this is the queen of her suit, her element. Someone did not appreciate, at the very least, not being considered as the top priority. Third party energy got involved. Someone was trying to manipulate with the Magician that said Virgo energy. It could also be Gemini energy. Someone was trying to manipulate some kind of solid foundation or solid beginning. Someone was trying to force an ace of coin. Now, when we talk about manifestation or a new manifestation, we're talking about third parties. We're talking about the Queen of Swords, which could be Aquarian energy, right? Fixed with the Queen, and air, which is Aquarian, is sometimes also considered Libra, okay? Because it's the second, right? So it depends on the reader, but Aquarian or Libran energy. Sacred soulmate, Six of Cups with the two of coin. Sacred soulmate. Someone was trying to create an ideal and real, and kind of juggling the two. This could be going on right now, right? Take it past, present, or future, depending on how you resonate with this. Like if you've already kind of had this premonition that there's someone else involved in a relationship dynamic, or there's going to be, like, maybe all of a sudden your partner started getting really close with someone else and you're like, that's weird. And you know that there's not anything going on right now, but you know damn right well in your intuition that if that continues, it's going to become an issue. But if you talk about it now or freak out now, then you're out of line and only prompting what you prophesize to happen faster, right? I was like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. But if this is something you are going through or have recently gone through, there was definitely a third party. Someone tried to manipulate a new beginning. And someone needed to cut the head off the dragon. Because it's not ideal. The reality is not in alignment with the ideal. And it could be as simple as, I want us to be happy and have a respectful, committed relationship. That's the ideal. I want to be happy. I want to have a healthy relationship with open communication. That's the ideal. And the reality is you're not happy, and that's not what you have. You don't have someone who is good with communication. You don't have someone that is committed, because they're out there humoring the idea of a third party. And it's like, if you have an issue in our relationship, like, talk to me about it. Don't go talking to someone else about it. That's not going to solve the problem. It's going to make the problem worse. Right. And it kind of circles all the way back to the analogy with the person that I was giving at the beginning of the story, where they just don't realize their mistakes and they're blaming other people. Well, it's like, well, you're crazy. You kept saying that this person liked me and this person was going to be a problem, and we were just friends and we were just friends. But you were complaining to that person, that quote unquote friend, about the different issues that you're having in your relationship with me, when you should have been talking to me about it. And I was getting frustrated because you were becoming emotionally invested somewhere else. People have to define what cheating is. And people say, well, cheating is when you're physically with someone else, right? That's when or you're sending pictures of someone else, or you're texting someone else, and it's intimate conversation. There is such a thing as emotional infidelity, because, like they say, like, weed is the gateway drug, Well, emotional infidelity is the gateway to cheating. It's the gateway to cheating. When you start becoming emotionally invested somewhere else, it is the gateway to cheating. So is it acceptable just because you haven't cheated yet? If you're talking to someone else about your problem and they're of the same gender as your partner, or a gender that your partner would at least be threatened by, whatever you identify as, okay? And they don't understand why all of a sudden you're not coming home on time, or you're going out with whoever and they have a feeling you're not being honest, or you're staying out later than normal, or you're not answering your phone like you normally would. Like maybe even if you were out, you used to text if they text and now you don't. Like it's not the same. The pattern changed, right? The behavior changed. Why? Because you've been emotionally investing somewhere else, which means you've taken your emotional energy from wherever it should have, could have, would have been invested. Right? I talk about the 5 forms of currency. This is how we exchange energy, and it has to be fair and balanced. Okay. We have love currency, which is truth. It's consideration. It's compassion. It's honesty. It is all of the things that come along with when you genuinely love someone. You care about them and the things that you do because you care. And I'm not saying, well, I care about this person, but I don't do that. Okay, well, I'm not talking about that. That's not actually caring, though. I mean, caring to the point that you would not want someone out of your life, that you invest love energy with them. You make it a point to be honest and truthful. You make it a point to be vulnerable. You make it a point to consider them before you take an action, because you wouldn't want your action to inadvertently cause them harm or discomfort in any way. That's love currency. Then we have knowledge, which is the sharing of wisdom, the sharing of experience, right? The sharing of knowledge and things that you have learned. It's no different than what I do here on the channel. I share my knowledge of tarot and astrology and relationship dynamics all the time, right? It's my knowledge currency. You also have physical currency. Okay, that could be from giving a massage. That could be being physically present and hanging out and watching a movie, right? Your body is physically present. That could be giving up your body to have children, right? It's a physical currency. Intimacy, right? If you're sharing your body physically with someone else, it's intimacy. That's physical currency. Then you have time, where you invest your time, whether you're investing it at a job or you're investing it in a friendship, right? Where are you spending your time? And time is money. Okay. So if you're spending your money on someone, you are also spending your time on them. Okay. And then there is financial currency, money currency, which can come in all kinds of forms. It's not just physical money. We can talk about saving people money as a form of financial currency, right? Oh, it's okay. I'll give you a ride. Don't worry about paying me gas, right? You're saving someone money. If you're cooking someone dinner, you're saving them money on food, right? That they would have otherwise had to have bought. We're talking about valuables. We're talking about jewelry. We're talking about assets. We're talking about possessions, right? Homes, cars, things that cost money, right? Because someone might not give you $10,000, but they might give you a brand new car. It's money currency. So we have those 5 different forms of currency. And you invest them like a bank. You invest them in things. Well, if you were investing all of this love currency, truth, honesty, consideration in your partner, and then started to remove that currency from your partner and start to invest it here in the form of knowledge and time and presence with someone else, you just took that form of currency, exchanged it at the bank, right? You exchanged the currency. You exchanged love currency for knowledge and time and physical presence or whatever you did and gave it to a different person. This is energy exchange. And people wonder why people get upset. Now, the moon, Cancerian energy, is fucking psychic as shit. They're intuitive. They know, like they know, like they know, without proof or anything. They just know. They just know. If something's off, they know. Cancer will dream about it. They will literally see it in their mind's eye. They will see it happen here before it happens. They know. Cancer is not stupid. And people want to call Cancer crazy because Cancer doesn't have proof, or Cancer is putting ideas out into the ether that aren't real. And it's like, bitch. Only for people to do exactly what Cancer warned was going to happen or be done. And then when Cancer freaks out, now Cancer's crazy for freaking out. So Cancer can't win, right? They're crazy for believing in something that's not real. And then they're crazy when they pop off because what was supposed to not be real was real and happened. So Cancer is just crazy. No, Cancer knows better than you. Cancer is not stupid. Cancer is intuitive. They read energy. They read people. If they don't like their partner's energy around someone else's energy, it's because they're literally feeling the investment. Cancer will feel the investment. Their polar opposite sign is Capricorn, who is truly the investor. Yeah. Their opposite sign is Capricorn. And Capricorn is the investor. So Cancer literally intuits where our 5 forms of currency are being invested. They keep tabs on everybody's energy bank in the room. And they can't help it. They just know. So, whoever pissed off the Queen of Cups in reverse is because the Queen of Cups had invested a certain amount of energy in someone and expected that energy to come back in exchange, right? Equal, fair, and it was being siphoned off by a third party. A new beginning started, was being manipulated. Dark magician energy is dark manifestation. That's wounded energy, wounded thoughts, right? Wounded thoughts. The narcissist and the manipulation is all the same thing, and people don't even realize they're dipping into that shadow. People don't even realize that they're controlling other people's behavior and reactions with their own choices and then blaming everybody else for it. Well, if you weren't acting like that, I wouldn't have done this. Yeah, but if you were honest with me and talked to me and communicated with me, I wouldn't be freaking out that you're talking to someone else because now you're investing in someone else. If you just talked to me and our relationship was better and we healed our issues, we wouldn't be having this one. Someone started siphoning off energy from the Queen of Cups and is trying to manipulate it and trying to twist it around. Someone's trying to blame the Queen of Cups. Someone's trying to blame the Queen of Cups, and so she's coming out like the Queen of Swords. Literally cutting the head off the dragon. And it doesn't matter how long you've known this soulmate. You felt deeply connected to them with the Six of Cups. It's someone that you feel like you've known them beyond just this life because that's what the Six of Cups represents. It doesn't matter if you've known them for a week or 2 weeks or a year or 2 years or a decade or 2 decades. They're a sacred soulmate that you felt deeply connected to. And the reality wasn't matching up with the ideal. The Queen of Swords had to cut a bitch. I mean, she's literally the cut a bitch card. Give me some more insight, please, Spirit. Okay. I'm using the Occult Tarot. So we're identifying demons. This tarot card identifies different demons throughout demonology. So this is the demon at play. Now, you might believe in actual demons. You can believe demons as archetypal energies within the shadow of people, that when a person is wounded and hasn't healed that aspect of the self, it manifests as the archetypal energy the demon holds. Okay. So that's personally how I view it. Okay. That's personally how I view it. I believe that even angels and archangels are archetypal energies that we as humans can embody. And it's a conscious choice, right? It's always a conscious choice whether we embody our light or we embody our shadow, right? So, Spirit, what was the wound that caused the siphon? What was the wound unhealed that caused the ultimate betrayal of the Queen of Cups? That she had to go freaking Kali from Parvati, right? If you were my Divine Rebel members, you know exactly what the frick I just said. Parvati is a beautiful goddess of wonderful, beautiful energy. And when you cannot learn any other way, it's kind of like how I was talking about Sag. Like, if you can't learn any other way, she pops off and she's Goddess Kali. Like, it's a different true form for her. So what is the demon at play here? It's Cancer. Chariot. Sower of discord and slayer of men. Andrus. He can kill the master, the servant, and the assistants. So Cancer, I'm gonna bring my Cancer rising out for you. Okay. So I mean, Cancers get along so well. Their sun helps serve my moon, and my rising helps serve their sun. So me and Cancers have great dynamics in general. That's why me and Tanya is like my BFF and soul. How I was kind of talking about how you see it unfolding in advance. And so you'll say something about it and people will call you crazy, and that kind of puts them further down the path of doing exactly what it was that you saw. You may, along the way, being so in tune with your emotions and what you intuitively pick up on from other people, because you're extremely empathic. Sometimes it's hard for your energy to discern what energy is other people and what energy is your own. So let's just say, I don't use an example. Maybe you're feeling that your partner isn't communicating with you or telling you what's wrong. You may also not be communicating with your partner about what you're feeling and what's really wrong. I'll continue to elaborate. And I'll use myself as an example, write my own story. I know that something is off in my relationship when the intimacy drops. When the intimacy drops. I know that if me and my partner are not being intimate, there's something wrong. If I don't communicate to my partner what is unattractive, that I'm turned off. The fact that I'm not being intimate with my partner, maybe I can deal with it for a certain amount of time in a certain way, But my partner is different than me. They are not the same as me, and they may handle it in a different way. Where I am beyond loyal, beyond fault, okay? I am loyal, more loyal than anybody I've ever freaking known, okay? I might not be bothered if I'm not necessarily intimate with my partner. We'll work it out eventually. It's okay. I'm not going to go and get it from somewhere else. I'm not going to cheat. My partner might not be of that mindset, though. They might be like, well, if they're not giving it to me, I might as well get it from somewhere else. Or if they're not giving it to me, they might be getting it from somewhere else. Maybe they're cheating on me. So they don't care if they cheat. Right? It's a perspective thing. You might not think that way. Doesn't mean your partner doesn't think that way. You might know you're still in love with your partner, even though you're not intimate. And you might not be questioning your love and commitment to your partner. But maybe when you're not intimate with your partner, they start to question your commitment to them. Are they not attracted to me anymore? Their insecurities start to spin. Right? Their insecurities start to spin. Well, what happens when insecurities start to spin? They seek validation, but they're not getting the validation from you. You're the one that they're saying is triggering the insecurity. And so they're going to seek the validation elsewhere. I'll give you knowledge, and I'll give you time, and I'll give you physical presence if you give me encouragement. If you tell me all the things you love about me, if you're vulnerable with me in return. And that's where the energy exchange starts to happen and gets siphoned off. When you're feeling like something's wrong and your partner's not talking to you about it, then you really do have to acknowledge where you know something is wrong and that you haven't necessarily talked about it. And if you've talked about it, maybe it wasn't clear or emphasized what a big problem it was. Like my ex was a drinker, a bad drinker, an everyday half a bottle of Jamie drinker. And I didn't like it. I did not find it attractive. It did not make me want to be intimate with him at all. I accepted that was who he was. I had multiple conversations with him about his drinking that I didn't like it. And he would talk to me in circles for a couple hours to convince me that drinking was necessary for him in his life. And I was not going to win that battle against his addiction. So he continued to drink and prioritize his drink, and I continued to love him without intimacy. But that didn't work for him. And he didn't take ownership that he was drinking. And I tried to have that conversation, so if you may have had this conversation. I mean, I never actually told my ex that I wasn't intimate with him because of his drinking, because it was unattractive. I tried having conversations with him about not doing that, right? Not drinking. I tried to stop the drinking, but I was never completely honest in telling him what's wrong. Listen, our intimacy is suffering because I'm not attracted to you when you're like this. If this is who you're going to continue to choose to be in all sincerity, then me and you probably shouldn't be together, because I can't be with a partner I'm not intimate with, and it's not attractive. And been really crystal clear and honest, because Cancerian energy is what? The crab. They go side to side. They have a hard time facing the issue head on. They try and get around it. I try and talk about how I don't like his drinking. I try and talk to him about how it bothers me. It triggers my father wound. It's okay. You'll get used to it. I'm not your father, blah, blah, blah. And it never gets handled because I didn't just say what the problem is. It's ruining my attraction to you. I'm not attracted to it. I can't be with it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. No matter how many times you've tried to convince me that it's an okay thing and this is who you are, that's great, then that's who you are, but I can't do it. Right? I didn't actually hit it head on. So for whatever you're dealing with, you kind of have to go back and reflect on how you were kind of addressing the issue from a side to side tactic instead of just straight up fucking saying it. Like, listen, maybe you and I aren't the best communicators, right? Maybe I'm a very emotional communicator. I feel a lot. I'm vulnerable. I tell you how I'm feeling. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you're not a great emotional communicator, right? You don't tell me about how you're feeling a lot. Okay, but I can't actually deal with a partner who I don't know what is going on in your life. I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, and the great, and everything in between. And if you can't do that, I can't stay with you, because I don't like having the big question marks inside my head about you and your day. I don't like it. And when I don't feel like I know you and your life and what you're doing, even if it seems stupid to you, I feel like I'm living with a stranger. And I don't like it. So either meet me halfway and have those conversations, or cut me loose and let me go, because it's not fair. I'm not happy. Right? There was something that wasn't being directly talked about. And Cancer is a cardinal sign. They're known to beat around the bush, but they are meant to lead. They are meant to direct as a cardinal sign. They are meant to draw lines and say, I will see you on this side of it. And if you don't follow, that's fine. Stay over there then. We're not together anymore. You're on that side of the line and I'm on this one. Because this works for me and this doesn't work for me. I'm going to choose this. You can choose that, but no, if you continue to choose that, I'm choosing this. Those conversations have to be had. You know, and it goes vice versa, because everybody has Cancer in their chart somewhere. Whether you have Cancer placements or not is irrelevant. It's just a matter of how strong your Cancerian energy is. But you can be a Leo, you can be a Virgo, you can be a Sag, you can be an Aqua, you can be a Libra and have some kind of Cancer energy in your chart. So they're not exempt from this either. Well, listen, if you keep continuing to do that, that's fine. You do you. But if you do that, I'm going to do this. If you don't trust me, I'm going to leave. I can't be with a partner I don't trust, right? They could say the same shit. If you don't understand that I'm a private person and you don't like it, that's fine. You can prefer to be with someone who's not private, but this is who I am. And if this is who I am and that's who you are, and you want me to change, I'm going to leave. Because you want me to change and I'm unwilling to change. So if you want me to change, I'm going to go. Like, they could have the same conversation and they're not. Right? And this is where third parties come in, because people aren't just honest. People aren't just honest. Are you in an ideal that and real that your reality is ideal? Or are you trying to fight for one to be the other? Are you fighting for the ideal to be the reality? Because it's not. People insist on making things work, like they insist on making oil and water get along. Mix. It doesn't work. And that's okay. But you can't be getting upset about it, to be fair. You got to learn from it, though. After my last relationship, my Cancerian energy that used to beat around the bush and not take things head on, I have no problem being head on as hell now. I'll be insanely head on. To the point that it freaking shocks people, because they're like, oh my God, like, you're handling me really direct. Yeah, because I don't have time for games with people. I'm grown. I'm a grown adult. If you're still beating around the bush and you haven't clicked into that yet and you're still beating around the bush, like, go grow up. I don't deal with children. Grown-ass adults that are still children in here. There's still children in here. Well, I'm afraid to express how I feel because when I was a little kid, my parents told me that my feelings didn't matter because I was upset and they didn't care. They just did what they wanted to do anyway. And I'm still a child like that. I haven't learned that my feelings matter. Grow up. Your feelings matter. Express them. If you don't like something, change it. As a child, we learn that we don't like things and we can't do anything about it because our parents dictate and control our lives. We can't control what's happening. And so as adults, we grow into this reality where we're trying to negate our feelings, and we're like, the reality is beyond my control. I can't control it. No, you can control it. If you don't like your job, go get a new one. If you don't like your partner, something about it's off, listen, respectfully, I have lots of love for you. We spent lots of time together, but who I am and who you are, it's a little like oil and water, and maybe we're better as friends. Maybe we're better if we mix it up and change it up and add some fucking spices and we're a vinaigrette. You know, maybe we just don't work like this. The relationship, the romantic relationship dynamic just doesn't work. Maybe we're better as friends. We were great friends for however long, and maybe we're just better as friends. Why, instead of cheating on each other or not being honest with each other and getting everything all upset, we just admit that maybe we're oil and water, and that's okay. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with me being water and you being oil, or vice versa. But let's stop trying to blend them into a aqueous solution. Why don't we stop trying to make it something it's not? You know what I mean? People try and force things because they think things are out of their control, or they're terrified of change, right? We all have fixed energy in our charts. We're terrified of change. We're talking about fixed air and fixed water, right? Scorpio and Aquarian energy. Talking about fixed energy that probably needs a little more change up, right? A little more application of wisdom, mutability, flow, lead. If you already know intuitively that something is going to be over or something's going to end, like, why fight it and make it hard when you can trust your intuition and accept it and just let it go gracefully without hitting a tower? Because the tower, that's the universe pulling the rug out. The tower moment that was on the bottom of the deck with the hanged man to help you see from a different perspective. The universe strings you upside down so that you could see things from a different perspective. It didn't want to pull the rug out from under you. Universe loves you and it wants you to learn. It wants you to learn, and it wants you to learn how you're burdening yourself. You're burdening yourself with loss and regret. This idea of loss and regret. What are you losing? What are you losing? What did the divine, quote unquote, take from you when it flipped up all the dirt you've been sweeping under the rug? Because the universe just wants you to be happy. You're like, I'm happy. Sweeping the dirt under the rug. I'm happy, Spirit. I'm happy. Spirit's like, no, you're not. Pulls the rug out. Look at all that dirt. You're not happy. The universe towers everything because it wants you to be happy, and you're not choosing it for yourself. You're not having those conversations. You're not allowing yourself to take the lead of your life and get out of this stubborn energy, right? The fear of change. The fear of the unknown. Well, I don't know what life is like without this person. I don't know what life would be like without this person. And this happens in romantic dynamics. This happens with our kids, right? This happens all the time. Happens with our pets. Like, everybody thinks like, oh, well, children, they grow up and, you know, when they're 18, they go off to college and they're still coming home. And then maybe we go through empty nest syndrome and they're early to mid 20s. Sometimes your kid they're removed from your life at a young age. Sometimes you only get to keep your kid in your life for a couple months, a couple years, a decade. And life happens. Sometimes your partner is only in your life for a certain amount of time. Sometimes you have a best friend. They've been in your life for X amount of time, and then all of a sudden they're not your best friend anymore. You don't know what happened, but they're just not your best friend anymore. It happens. We all like to think we're going to grow old with the people that we love, and it doesn't always work out that way. People have different paths. People have different paths. And we have the best intentions of growing old with the people that we love, and we want them to be around forever. But that's denying the beautiful changeability of life. I even put up a post earlier on my Facebook page. Life is change, and change is growth, and growth is life. You're not living if you're not growing. You're not growing if you're not changing. Like, you're not getting to turn into the big oak tree if you're afraid to stop being a seed. Eventually, the seed's got to change into a sprout. Otherwise, we wouldn't have oak trees. And we don't get to dictate when that change happens. We don't get to say that this happens at a certain age and this time, and we get to know it all in advance. We don't get to know it all in advance. Sometimes our kids leave our lives super early. Sometimes children have important people leave their lives super early. Like my son, he doesn't have anybody in his life on my side of the family or his father's. He doesn't have anybody in his family except myself. No one. And he didn't get to choose that. It happened. It happened. We don't get to say, oh, well, I'm going to grow old with my grandmom and my grandpop and everything's going to be great. Like, it didn't happen that way. I thought I was going to grow old and have my brother and my sisters with me too. I don't have it. It's not bad. It just is what it is. If it were in my highest good, Spirit would have it in my life. Me and my son are not unhappy. People say, oh my God, how do you do it with no family? Listen, our families were fucking psychotic crazy, okay? We are better off. We are better off without all that madness. Super toxic. Super toxic. Really glad it's not an issue. Really glad. So, it's okay to stop trying to mix oil and water when it just doesn't do that. It just doesn't do that. It's all right. People beat themselves up because things fall apart and they think they're a failure, and it's not failing, it's life. Life is change, and change is growth, and growth is life. Why are you beating yourself up? Because the divine said, hey, I love you, and you're forcing yourself into a really sad corner that doesn't flatter you. Sadness and worry and anxiety doesn't look good on you. You look better when you're glowing. You look better when you're happy. You look better when you're considered and comfortable, and everything is so much better than it is right now. Universe is like, can you please go easier on yourself? You're like, no, Spirit. No, I want to suffer in my pain. And Spirit's like, I'm sorry. I love you too much to let you do that. Boop. Smile at the things that have left, because they've taught you how to move into your future a better version of yourself so that it doesn't repeat. So that it doesn't repeat. If me beating around the bush and not being super direct was a problem in my last relationship, even just 1%, because 99% is not 100, okay? If me not being super direct was even a little bit of a problem in my last relationship, then thank you, Spirit. I will take that lesson moving forward, and I will not do that again. I will be very direct next time. If someone is smoking weed or drinking or taking pills or whatever they're doing and I don't like it, I don't feel comfortable with that, that's not my lifestyle, then I'm just going to be really clear and be like, listen, like, I love you and appreciate you as this kind of dynamic in my life, but me and you are not going to be in a romantic dynamic. Hey, Tanya, my beautiful Cancerian sister. Yeah. Maybe we're just better friends. Maybe we're just better confidants. Maybe we're just better colleagues. Maybe we don't need to be romantically involved, right? Because you do things in your life that's fine for you. I don't judge you for what you do, but I do not want to be romantically involved and share my living space and my body and my finances and have my life shared with someone who truly doesn't fit me, like a lock and key. It's close, but it doesn't open the door. Some keys won't even fit through the keyhole. Some will fit halfway and get stuck. Some will go all the way through and not be able to turn. It's got to fit just right for that lock to open. All the soulmates in our life is like a ring of skeleton keys, and we're this beautiful door. We're this beautiful keyhole. And beyond the door is the paradise of who we are. Our highest self, our best version, and someone is the key that unlocks it. And sometimes we don't know until we try all the keys. Sometimes people get lucky. They get it on the first shot. They pick up the key, they pick up a ring of keys, these soulmate keys, and they try the first key and it clicks and they live happily ever after from the time they met when they were 8 years old. Other people, they're still trying out keys in their 60s. And that's fine. The more clear you are and quick to identify a key that doesn't quite fit, and you stop trying to make it fit and you just accept, well, that key doesn't fit. Boop, next. Try again. Oh, that key doesn't quite fit. Boop, next. And you stop getting hung up on a key trying to make it fit. Oh, it's such a pretty key, though. Yeah, it doesn't fit, though. It's okay. Next. Me and this key are better friends. But they don't unlock the door to my highest self. And you're going to be a key on someone else's key ring of soulmates, and you're going to open someone's door. You're perfect for someone's door. You might not be perfect to unlocking their best self. You might not be that perfect key. But you're someone's perfect key. It's just not theirs. Let them go find their perfect key. It's not you. It's okay. Pick the next key. Go find somebody else that's perfect for you. I'm not that person. I wish you nothing but your best person. I got close, but it wasn't me. Love, support. Bye. Call me if you need advice. Don't get hung up. If something didn't work out, don't get hung up. Okay? I know that I'm an hour and 23 minutes in, and this is going to sound crazy, but I feel like I have to pull another deck. I just do as I'm guided. I don't argue with spirit. Patch Tarot. All right. Way different energy than this deck. This is the Patch Tarot. All right. So this may be a continuation of that message. It may be whatever it is. It may be a completely different message. So take it as it resonates. One reading may be connected to one person on your mind, and this may be connected to someone else. So take it as it resonates. I will say this, guys, if you are the one, and typically Cancerian energy is not, because Cancer is inherently really loyal. But if you're on the mutable spectrum, or you're mutable heavy, even as a Cancer, and your energy was being siphoned off to someone else, right? Even if you weren't necessarily cheating, maybe you're just talking to your friend all the time about your problems in your relationship, or you're talking to your family member about all your relationship problems. Sometimes instead of talking to your partner, like your energy was getting siphoned off. Whatever the issues were that a dynamic didn't work out, please do not feel guilty or feel bad. Okay. Like that it didn't work out, and it could have, should have, would have worked out better. If it was really supposed to work out better, the key would have fit perfectly. It's okay. Keys that don't fit, we learn. We learn about those keys and why they didn't fit. So please don't feel bad. You know what I mean? Just, I mean, your heart's super big, Cancer. We all, like, no one is exempt from making errors. Like, nobody likes to make errors. Nobody likes to make mistakes. No one likes to feel like they failed or they had to take a loss or whatever. But there's not a single person on this earth that hasn't had to do that. There's not a single person on this earth that hasn't failed at something. There's not a single person on this earth that hasn't made an investment in someone and had to take a loss. There's not a single person in this life that hasn't made a mistake and had to fix it or own it in some which way, shape, or form. Everybody pays for their mistakes. If they don't correct it, that's called karma. And sometimes it looks like the universe is blessing the heck out of somebody. You're like, why? They hurt me. They did me wrong. They did this. They did that. And it was so unjust, right? It was so unfair what happened. And I didn't deserve it and whatever. And the universe, and you're just like, Spirit's like, listen, in order for me to seriously pay this person back in karma for what they did to you, because it was unjust, it was not right, I have to build them up and give them really big blessings because, well, all those blessings get taken away when the rug gets pulled out later. The crash has to be as big as the karma that they've accumulated, which means sometimes I got to pile blessing on top of blessing in order to crash it all down. You know what I mean? So like, don't get it twisted. Oh, someone's living happily ever after and they did me wrong. Oh, they're living happily ever after for now. Karma, like I said, the divine doesn't miss it when someone tries to sweep something under the rug. The divine doesn't miss it. The divine will never excuse certain things. Just won't. There's a reason why the 10 commandments are what they are. Whether you take them literally or figuratively or morph them in some other way that makes sense to you. Like, there's a reason why cheating is a commandment. Like, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not covet. You shall not cheat or be the cheatee. Like, there's a reason why shit is on this 10 commandment list. There's no coincidences in this universe. And whether you're a religious person or not, it's interesting how certain people can do certain things and then end up Karma's Creek at some point. They're like, well, I don't even believe in God. You don't have to believe in God. You don't have to believe in divine law. There's still 12 universal laws. There's still, you know, the different chakra systems in our body, and they're either blocked or open. Like, just because you don't believe it don't mean it's not real. Just because people don't believe in aliens don't mean they're not real. Well, I've never seen a megalodon. Okay, does that mean it's not real? Some people have never seen the beach. Does it mean it's not real? Mount Everest is just a National Geographic. It's not a real mountain. It's photoshopped. Okay, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not real. So just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not real. Guilt is a thing. Regret is a thing. Sadness is a thing. Hate is a thing. Emotions, they're real. Everybody has emotions. Even sociopaths get pissed off. Well, being pissed off is an emotion. Even if their emotions are limited, they still feel them. They still feel disappointed in themselves when they make a boo-boo. Well, universal law of attraction, like attracts like. It's a thing. It's real, even if you don't believe in it. True facts. All right, Spirit. What other message wants to come out? Ooh, one more shuffle. Okay. All right, what's going on? What additional message for our Virgo, Sag, Cancer energy? Remember how I set up Karma's Creek? And that just because it doesn't look like it now doesn't mean it's not coming. If you've made it this far in the message, there's a reason why you're here to get this insight. Okay? Clarities, please. I'm going to disclose all of this to you in a second. Let me get all the cards out. Got the Hierophant on the bottom. It's Chiron energy. That's the martyr energy. And how we learn. Chiron is deep, deep lessons. They're soul lessons that affect our manifestation, because the Hierophant is Taurean energy. It affects our reality and how we manifest. We cannot manifest beautiful, abundant wealth in all different kinds of arenas, right? Whether it's a wealth of love, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of time, a wealth of physical presence, a wealth of fill in the blank, right? Money. You can't accumulate a wealth if there's wounding. Because wounding, universal law of attraction, will always attract more lessons revolving around that wounding. Woundings usually deal with lack of some kind, whether it's a lack of trust or a lack of creativity or a lack of confidence or a lack of compassion, right? Or an inability or lack of investment in the self, a lack of truth, a lack of vision, a lack of compassion, a lack of fill in the blank, a lack of divinity, a lack of acceptance, right? There's some kind of lack, a lack of value and self-worth, right? There's always some kind of lack that comes along with lessons that keep us from our abundance. So the Hierophant, this Taurian energy, is to help teach you what needs to be healed so that you can manifest better. So that you can manifest more, an abundance of. Okay. Top of the deck is the Queen of Cups. She just keeps on coming out, don't she? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, heavy on the Cancer and the Scorpio. It's reflective. It's reflective. And this is the mother, right? She's holding a child in her hands. She's got the tree of life in her cup. And all of these bubbles around, they're all memories she's reflecting on. I told you the devil's going to have his day. Okay. Got the devil with the Wheel of Fortune. The devil got exactly what he wanted. The wounding won. Whatever the wounding was, the shadow, the insecurity, the lack of, fill in the blank, whatever it was, won over the light, right? The shadow, in this case, whoever we're talking about, the shadow overrode the light. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. I have a feeling I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm justifying it and doing it anyway. I've been warned that what I'm doing is not in alignment, but I'm egotistical and self-centered and I desire what I desire, so I'm going to do it anyway, right? I'm going to do it anyway. The devil knows better and ignores and does it anyway. And the devil got what they wanted. Because they were determined to create it. They were determined. King of coin and king of water. Double king energy. They invested big in time and emotion. They invested big. They may have very well have had money involved. Literally invested in it. And just because they didn't spend money on a gift for somebody doesn't mean they didn't spend money on gas to go there every weekend. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean they didn't spend money out with whatever they were out with or whoever. You spend money at the bar, even if you're not spending it on someone else, you're spending money because you're with them. You're investing your time, your gas, the miles on your car to go to a bar and have drinks with a certain individual or certain people, and you come home, costs money, right? There's an investment here. And they were responding, right? There was an emotional response. If you look at the upright word in the corner of the card, it's responsive. They were responding to the stimulus that they were receiving from the outer experience. I'm going to keep investing in it. I'm determined to keep investing in it because it feels good. It feels good. It feels good. They were getting instant gratification. They were getting instant gratification, right? The little narcissistic shadow that we all fight off. They were getting that dopamine hit, right? That narcissistic, oh, they're making me feel good. Oh, they're complimenting me. Oh, they're telling me that they don't understand why my partner's like this, or they don't understand why so-and-so treats me like that. They don't understand. I'm such a good person. I'm so this and that. And they're getting this instant gratification, right? Well, the Four of Swords comes along with the light. Now, the light is a special holy arcana in this deck. And it is truly about revelation or revealing. There's a reason why those words are similar, reveal and revelation. In a moment of pause, which is what the Four of Swords represents, someone saw the light. It could be you taking a moment to pause from the rest of what's going on in your life and the rest of the thoughts spinning in your head to just listen to this message. It could be you taking a moment of pause literally right now and seeing all kinds of light and having all kinds of revelation about dynamic shifts that you're involved, that you took a moment to pause from all of that to invest in yourself and what you're hearing. Someone took a moment to pause. And there was revelation. We get the Prince of Discs with the Six of Wands. Now this card, this Prince of Discs here, the way the petals come from the tree in the background, always reminds me of the movie with Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come. Now, Robin Williams is known for his comedy, but What Dreams May Come was very different. And he was brilliant in it, and it's a brilliant movie. In fact, it's my all-time favorite movie. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching What Dreams May Come. And I'm not going to give away the movie, but I'll say this. It reminds me, and there's a reminder here, that love goes beyond this life. And love is expressed in many, many ways. The universe, right, loves us enough to pull the rug out from underneath of us and make us look at our dirt. Clean it up. You deserve to have your energy clean. You don't deserve to feel guilty. You don't deserve to feel unworthy. You don't deserve to feel insecure. You don't deserve to be treated like this. You deserve to feel love. You deserve clean energy. You don't deserve to be afraid. You don't deserve to doubt yourself. You don't deserve this and that. You don't deserve what this manifests. You deserve clean energy. And you realize that these wounds have gone on for lifetimes on top of lifetimes on top of lifetimes, right? That's why the Six of Cups was out here. We feel like we've known this person forever. We feel like we want to spend the rest of our lives with these people, friend, romantic partner, family, otherwise. We don't ever want them to leave our life. And the reality is they don't. They might physically no longer be a part of the story this lifetime, but they don't ever actually leave our life. Because our life is multiple chapters of a book somewhere in the Akashic record. They're a character in the book in multiple chapters, multiple lifetimes. You're going to see this person again in the next life. They're going to help you learn another lesson, some other Chiron lesson that was keeping you from your highest manifestation. Something that was surrounded with and engulfed in child wounds, right? With the moon. Childhood wounds. Goes back to how I was talking earlier, right? As a child, we're told that our feelings don't matter and we're not in control of situations and things just are what they are and we have to accept it. And then as adults, we're still in that mentality. We're still in that wounded space when that's not the case. Our feelings do matter and we are in control of our reality. And we're not stuck and have to settle with things and can't change it. These childhood wounds that Chiron keeps healing. And we have these soulmates that come through like superheroes in this life. Whether they're playing a hero in our life or they're playing the villain in our life in order to get us to learn a certain lesson about our value, our worth. The light bulb goes off. And we're not apart from each other. There's victory in this. That's the Six of Wands. It's victory. It's pragmatic victory. There's a rhyme and a reason for everything. We would go to hell and back for the people that we love. To heal and feel loved. You gotta watch that movie. What Dreams May Come. You gotta watch it. This earth is not the end. This lifetime is not the end. Someone was telling me earlier, she's like, you only live once. And I was just like, she's like, YOLO. You only live once. And I was like, more like YOTLO. She went, what? I was like, YOTLO. You only live this lifetime once. But we live multiple lifetimes. And we live them with each other. And there's no animosity on the other side. There's laughter, like, oh my God, I can't believe I was mad at you for that. You were trying to teach me this. Oh my God, let's try again. Oh my God, you were such an asshole. I really thought that you were an asshole. I didn't realize you were trying to teach me about myself. Oh my God, can we try this again? You'll reincarnate and you come up with some divine plan to do it better this time so that the lesson's learned. We're afraid of failing in this life, but we're not afraid of failing outside of this life. We have literally tried multiple lifetimes and have had a blast laughing at all the different ways we've tried to figure out this shit. You know what I mean? Like, on the other side of this veil, all my exes and me are besties. They're all my besties. Like, yo, I hated you so bad. I can't believe you were trying to teach me about my self-worth. Oh my God, I missed it. Yeah, that's crazy. My bad. You were trying to teach me about compassion and I was being so selfish. Like, all right, let's try again. There's no anything but love. There's just love. Like, if you don't know what the question is, it's fine. The answer is love. Whoever the devil was that got their fortune, a judgment call is being made and they're going to end up in Seven of Pentacles energy. They're not going to actually reap what they wanted to sow. They think they won, but it's just going to be a repeat cycle. The Judgment card in reverse, it's regression. What goes up must come down. It's life. That's life. We don't wish ill on anybody. Shit, people create that for their fucking selves. Actually, I want to hear something fucking hilarious. I actually had an ex accuse me of being, what was it, Satan? I was Satan. I was dark. I had cast evil magic on him. I was going into his dreams and his loved ones' dreams. I was completely evil and all of this shit. And I'm literally sitting there like, wow, like I work a 10-hour shift 5 days a week. I spend time with my son. I'm here. I do my soul work. Like the last thing I'm doing is some satanic ritual. You know what I mean? Like, it's the last thing. I don't even think about this person on a regular basis. And it's like, that's the message I was getting in my Etsy shop. Like, he literally messaged me in Etsy because there was nowhere else for him to message me. I blocked him everywhere else. He's like, don't message me back. And I'm just like, dude, if you didn't want me to message you back, why would you even message me at all? Like, you're seriously sitting there thinking that you mean that your demise means so much to me that I am wasting my life doing some crazy shit. Like, I don't give two fucks. Like, I hope you heal. Like, and when we get on the other side, you're going to laugh because you're going to realize how freaking crazy everything you said to me was. You know what I mean? Like, people get all crazy and it's just like, it is what it is, guys. Like, this life, people will think what they want to think. I'm going to see him in another lifetime, dimension, space, reality, and we're going to try and figure it out a different way because obviously this way I am Satan. So, just, it's beyond me. It's beyond me. That's my point, though. Like, I've had people tell me that I've been nothing but an angel and a blessing in their life. And I've had other people tell me I'm fucking Satan. I have people that follow tarot and they believe in tarot and astrology and they're all for it. And then I have people who are extremely on that religious trip and they think I'm Satan. So it's like, you know, there's always both people on the spectrum and you're not going to be able to please everybody. If you try and please one side, you're going to disappoint the other. And if you try and please that side, then you're going to piss off the other. The best advice that I can give you is to just simply be your best self and live your best life and not give a fuck whether being perceived as a blessing or a demon. It doesn't matter if someone thinks you're an angel or they think you're the most horrible person to ever exist and you're Satan. It doesn't matter what people think. You need to choose what's best for you. At the end of the day, this is your life, and you're either happy and living in your ideal and that is your real, or you're striving for it because it's not. And if it's not, then you need to accept that there's certain changes that need to be made and let certain things go if it can't be reconciled or rectified. Have direct and honest conversations. Trust your intuition and know that things are never truly what they seem. Sometimes it is not always the other person. Sometimes we're empathic and we're picking up on it in them. We're feeling like something's wrong and something's off, and maybe we're not attractive, and really it's someone else feeling it. And we're just tuning up into that energy and thinking it's our own. Like the element of water is widely misunderstood in astrology and widely underestimated. Matter of fact, if people tuned into their water more, it is literally 70% of the earth. Like, we would be in a much better place as a whole. But anytime someone tunes into their water, they're called crazy. They're called psycho. They're put in a fucking mental institution. Like, whatever. But it's a very real part of who we are. It's our emotions. It's our intuition. It's our visualization. It's our innate divine magic. It's our connection to spirit. And we have to be able to heal that. We have to be able to heal our relationship with water, especially because water is the element tied to love. So, with that said, guys, this live is almost 2 hours long. So I'm going to let it go. And I appreciate all of you that have tuned in. Thank you so much to everybody who was in the chat, leaving comments. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who's dropped likes and anybody who leaves a comment after the replay, because I love reading them. You know, I like being able to respond to you guys, and at the very least, put my little hearts on there. I love it. If you guys need more information about anything previously in the video, or you just want to reach out to me personally and tell me how the reading helped you and maybe your own revelations about things, then my email is in the description as well. All right. I am always available for all of you guys. I love you. That's why I do what I do. That's why I do what I do. I couldn't be in this life and not love you. Not just you as an individual, but as the whole, and not just as the whole collective, but you as an individual. I love being present. So if it's helped you in some way, then let me know, because it makes my whole day, it makes my week, sometimes it makes my month. I mean, it's why I do what I do. So thank you. Thank you very much. And my members, my diamond members, my divine rebels, if you want to join, that link is also in the description, and I will see y'all tomorrow for the weekly duality report, my beautiful diamonds. All right. Bye, everybody.